welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be continuing What If Naruto Was Like Yujiro from Baki. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. We open this part with Naruto and his mischievous grinning at Sakura. Now before Sakura could even finish or begin to answer any of Naruto's further questions, Tsunade pulls Sakura off to the side and tells her hey, you don't do anything to antagonize Naruto. And she's when she's thinking about it, she's like, yeah, he does seem a little bit different. And she shrugs it off and she's like, why you say that? And it's Tsunade just basically tells her me and Naruto just finished fighting and I don't even think he was displaying everything he could normally do. And he basically gave me a run for my money. His punches are way stronger than anything you faced. You might have issues. Just try not to make him mad, because that's not something that we can fight right now. And Sakura, she's thinking about it. She doesn't really get to Naruto, so she turns back around and she's talking she goes back to talking to Naruto, and Naruto's really trying to see how strong she's gotten. But before Naruto could convince her to have a training session with him, Naruto and her get interrupted by Kakashi, and Kakashi tells them about he's surprised to see Naruto back in the village, whatever Naruto this is. And he was able to tell straight away it was Naruto. He was just a little taken aback by how Naruto looks. So, Naruto, he has no animosity toward Kakashi. He's indifferent. He's what's going on? Because he knows Kakashi's strong. It's not Kakashi got his respect. So, Kakashi basically tells them about the training, the bell test he's going to be trying doing. And Naruto's nah, I'm good on that. I want to train with Sakura though. And Kakashi was nah, y'all should just do the bell test, as a team. And Naruto was I'm good on that. And he starts walking off, and Tsunade pulls Kakashi and she's hey, this is not Naruto. And he looks at her with the most serious of faces and was you really think I can't tell that? I've seen the intent in his eyes when he was looking at Sakura. That is not training intent. That's why I walked over here. And Kakashi basically he starts walking up to Naruto and he's so Naruto, what type of training session do you want to do with Sakura? And Naruto was it's something slight, just to gauge her strength, just to see if she's up there with Tsunade. Me and her fought earlier, and Kakashi instantly he instantly puts two and two together. That's what all that big thrashing about was earlier. And Tsunade, yeah. So he's Naruto, are you good? You straight? And he's yeah, I'm fine. I'm stronger. And Naruto looks at Kakashi and he's so are you gonna point me in the direction of somebody that can give me the rundown of what's been going on since I've been gone? And Kakashi tells Naruto that they might not even let him be a shinobi, and as he said this, he can visibly and physically feel Naruto whole demeanor change. And Naruto turns around and was let me. I'm the pinnacle of what a shinobi should be. Ruthless, strong, he just starts naming off qualities of what he has. And Kakashi's oh, Naruto, this is not, he's thinking in his head, this is not the same person. And, he was so what happened to be, so Kakashi tells him, what happened to being the Hokage? And Naruto was the Hokage is somebody that has to worry about a village and people. When you're a shinobi, the only person you have to worry about is the mission, the opponent you're fighting, and the person you're protecting. And half the time, I don't even want to be protecting people, so I'm not taking any missions that do that. And, Kakashi, and then before Kakashi could say it, Shikamaru basically just comes out the cut because it's Naruto. So he comes out the cut and he's Naruto, that's not a very smart thing to do because shinobi get whatever job they're given, and they don't pick and choose if they're protecting someone or not. And before Naruto could say anything, Shikamaru was example, the way that the world is going right now, there are people around out and about looking for you. They're very strong people, but they're looking for you. So when Kakashi said that they might not let you become a ninja, it's not because you're whatever this is, it's because you're being hunted. And Naruto started laughing, and he's he's laughing. He's I appreciate the information, because that's basically what he wanted. He wanted the rundown of what was going on at the time. you know, it was more within that time, but it's basically, he explained the Akatsuki and all of that other stuff. Anyway, so basically, yeah. So Naruto, he starts laughing. He's like, you know, I appreciate the intel, but no one's gonna tell me what I can and can't do. And Naruto was like, well, Shikamaru was like, you can be as strong as you want, but a shinobi needs a leader, or at least an advisor. So you should at least carry somebody around with you that has some type of voice of reason, because eventually you won't be making as much money as you would be a normal shinobi, because once people figure out you don't protect people, why would they hire you? And like Naruto, like, he stops laughing and he's thinking about it like, you're not wrong. Now, how would you feel? You know, you walk, you just come around, you just, you know, hang around me for a while. And like Shikamaru, like, he started walking off like, no, I'm good. And Naruto, like, he turns and he's like, I wasn't asking. And Shikamaru turns back around, and when he looks at Naruto, he sees a completely different person from what he just was talking to a few minutes ago. Like, Naruto, and like this version of Naruto, he's thinking about it like just little memories. Naruto, you could tell that version, like the older version, like the younger version of him, you know, nah, Naruto, I go do something else. And he's like, okay, he'll be sad or whatever. This version of Naruto, he's not taking no for an answer. Right, so he walks back over there. It wouldn't hurt to just, you know, hang around. So, like, they're walking throughout, and Naruto's basically just asking him, like, so how's Ichiraku? Like, how's ramen? And, you know, they walk over there, chilling, you know, they eat, and they end up running back into Sakura. Now, Naruto is still in his demon time with Sakura. And Shikamaru noticed this, and he not trying to pry Naruto, but what's going on between you and Sakura? And Naruto, like, he looks at Shikamaru, like, through the corner of his eye, and he's like, oh, so you really want to know? And, like, Shikamaru thinks about it, and he's like, I mean, I do have to walk around with you for a while. And he basically tells him, like, you don't think it was slightly funny how nice I treated her and how ruthless Sasuke treated her? But yet, you know, I was always a villain. Sasuke at one point didn't even tolerate her existence. But yet, I'm the villain. When he left the village, and I couldn't get him back because I was undertrained basically my entire childhood up to a certain extent. And Sasuke was praised and trained basically throughout his entire childhood. You expected me to win said fight instead of being like it was going to be okay. So, like, Shikamaru was thinking about it, and he's like, okay, it's not a bad reason. I can't persuade somebody that's giving valid points. And he's like, so what are you planning to do in said training session? And Naruto, like, he looks Shikamaru directly in the face, and he's like, I'm going to make sure that the next time she screams someone's name for help, it won't be mine. And, like, Shikamaru takes this into consideration, because that could mean that could be very interesting. So basically, after Naruto tells him this, Shikamaru basically like excuses himself from like Ichiraku, like, I gotta use the bathroom, something like that. He runs and he goes tell Tsunade. Now, Tsunade has had some mild contact due to Naruto's disappearance. They've had some mild contact with Orochimaru, so they was able to somewhat be able to get a message to Sasuke regarding Sakura's, you know, current position. Now, normally Sasuke wouldn't care, but it's the fact that Shikamaru made it a point to pass the exact words of what Naruto said over to Sasuke is what made Sasuke instantly care. Because for Naruto to just say that, you know, he don't want to help Sakura as much as he's normally helped her, that's an issue for him. So he goes and, like, you know, he's interested. Like, he starts thinking about going back to the Leaf Village for a little bit just to see what's going on, or like sending something. So he sends like out a snake or whatever. And he asks Orochimaru, and Orochimaru sends out like a recon snake or whatever. And like Naruto, he's like, yeah, Sakura, you want to have this training session? And you know, by the way, it took a few days for that to happen. I was just expressing what was going on. So Shikamaru gets back, and he ends up finding out that Naruto was still trying to talk to Sakura. And like, he basically he interrupts the conversation, and he's like, Naruto, Tsunade wanted you for a mission. And Naruto was like, yeah, but I'm kind of in the middle of something. And Shikamaru was like, yeah, but I really wouldn't advise it, you know, you being, this being like your first mission in a few years, you know, I mean, a few months. you know, you just disappeared on us. We'd have no idea, you know, if you're, and then given what you did when you came back, challenging the Hokage, and then like completely just disregarding one of her missions that she just went out of her way to assign that she could have gave to a capable team instead of just, you know, somebody that just got back and that basically a team that's missing a member. And like Naruto was like a vein pops out of his head and like he's like, come on, bro, I'm gonna go talk to Tsunade. And he gets up and he starts walking off. And Shikamaru basically, like, he tells Sakura to stay away from Naruto until they can figure this out. And like, she starts actually taking into consideration as to what they're talking about. Like, you know, because when Naruto came back from the village, anyway. So, yeah. Originally, she had already apologized when Naruto came back from the village of Jiraiya the first time, to the village with Jiraiya, when he was already in his team the first time, but it's a whole different person. And technically speaking, she really didn't apologize. Naruto didn't carry her, in a sense, my personal opinion. Anyway, so, yeah, she goes to her house and her mom, you know, greets her at the door or whatever. She goes into her room, she's thinking about it, and like, you know, all day Naruto's gone. She hasn't heard a word from Naruto. Like, her room gets a little hot, so she opens her window, she looks down, she sees Naruto standing in like this patch of grass. And now, realizing what she's done to Naruto all these years, like this cold sweat runs down her face. And that's the look that Naruto was looking for. So he stops grinning. And it's not like she tries to like close her door, like close her window, and when she closes her window, she turns like back around into her room, and Naruto's standing there. And Naruto was like, so, you figured it out, huh? And like she's trying to apologize, but like she's stuck, she can't say nothing, she's terrified. So like Naruto's like, what's wrong? Lost the words? You got so many when we were little. Remember? You know? You don't? Oh, don't worry. I made the rest of our friends remember too. Or the, you know, the ones that could talk. Or that, you know, had enough of a brain, or that, you know, didn't have much of a brain. They would talk, yeah. Anyway, the ones that spoke ill about me, you know, they're not much speakers. They're not gonna speak on me anymore. You know, kinda hoping you do the same. You know? And like Sakura's just standing there and Naruto's like, it's alright. You don't have to say anything. And he grabs her and he's like, but I'll tell you, you can't continue to act like you didn't do what you did. You chose. So now I remember. And, you know, the next time, just keep my name out your mouth. Like, and he disappears because like Sakura's mom was at her door. And so he wasn't able to finish what he was gonna say. So like when she opened up her door, like Sakura hit the floor. Naruto finished. So yeah, she basically she gets her breath, and you know Sakura's mom notices it. I don't know if she was a Konoichi or not, or whatever the hell she was, but she notices Sakura, you know, got the bruise around her neck, like somebody with massive hands gripped her. Like, you know, that's exactly what happened. So she basically runs and she tells Tsunade, and Tsunade was like, fuck, who was supposed to be keeping an eye on Naruto? And this is where I'm going to end this part off. If y'all enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you like my content, please subscribe. Anyway, this has been Shinobi. Peace.